Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this episode of the Artistconnection. We have a lot of talent in the room tonight, and we have a couple of people that's going to speak on some very important topics. I'm going to pass the mic to Lynn. Lynn, introduce yourself and tell us about what you do, and then just, I know you don't have a poem probably tonight, but if you do, you can bless our mic. If not, to just pass the mic back to me. We can't hear you, Lynn, so I'm going to pass it to Kate, Lady Kate. Tell us what you got going on.
Hey, good evening, y'all. It's so great to see all your faces. It's going to be a great discussion. My name is Kaylee. I've recently had a puffy moment. Can y'all hear me? Okay, I've had my puffy moment. I upgraded my name a little bit and added a lady in there because I've been feeling a little grown and sexy. I've been feeling like it's a new chapter in life. So we upgrading some things in life. Um, I have a few shows coming up. I am a mama, number one. I have four daughters, so that's
So
number
that's
one in
number
my
one in
life.
my life.
Ooh, I
Ooh,
might
I'm
have to get an
getting
echo.
echo.
I think I hear a
Yeah,
fuzz
fuzz
sound.
sound.
There we go.
Is
Is that
that
audio just
audio
me,
just
or is
me, or
that?
is that?
Anyone else hear that sound?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. I'm not going crazy then, because
Right. Right. I'm
it
trying to
could have
figure
been a
out.
rill in my brain. Anyways, my name is Kaylee. I'd love to introduce a few folks here. I do some poetry. I like to write a lot. I'm a mommy. I dabble in art, music, and I'm working on my first book, almost out this year. It's called Raw, the Trill OG, and it's all about being vulnerable, being a G, being all the facets of who you are, all the layers, and showing all that and doing it unapologetically. So that's what that creation is about. I have a show coming up in June. It's called Mics and Muses, where I'll be showcasing music, poetry, and um, probably bring out some instruments. Um, and then got an August show that's already planned that I'm excited about. So I would like to bring up to the mic Marlena next. And I would like you to introduce yourself, talk about any projects you have coming up, and please share some of that beautiful poetry.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for introducing me. I'm Marlena Patrice Pugh Hamer, originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and I migrated, moved to Greater Phoenix area in 2009. And as you can see in my description, I was in it. Well, I'm still an educator, but I retired from that. And somebody told me I should identify myself as a woke boomer because, because baby boomer has been said to be such a negative term now. And I'm like, what's up with that? But anyway, from my perspective, I grew up as a Black woman in an intersectional situation, and the name of my upcoming book is called "Taking Off My Black and White Saddle Shoes." So you can tell from the title, I'm trying to address a lot of baggage related to being Black, a woman living in a white world. And hopefully my poems are more positive than negative. There were definitely negativity going on as I grew up, so I don't have on rose-colored glasses. And one of the highlights of my life was my mother. So I'm going to read for you a poem I have about, I was always fascinated with her hands, if that makes any sense. So my poem is called Mom's Hands. Just knew how to divide up one stick of Wrigley's chewing gum like we were all getting fresh McDonald's French fries. Gave everyone a little sip of decaf, Maxwell House coffee in her cup. We were adults sometimes for a minute. Bought us things often on shoestrings, dreaming about bigger pocketbooks, handed down hand me downs until there were no hands left to hand down. Handed us time to do homework while she washed our dirty dishes by hand. Loved her kitchen because of us. Taught 3 out of 4 well enough to take her spot. No one ever made ice cream in the freezer like her. Made an ice cube tray shiver with delight. Vanilla always tasted better her way. Left tooth fairy dusted coins under our pillows, even after we stopped believing. Same with Christmas, mom and dad gifting the best gifts any kid ever got. Like Daphne, the biggest black doll we ever saw, who could walk across our creaking wooden floors. Studied the Bible, prayed for us every day, folded up pocket prayers she hid away with family secrets, dressed us to shine in church, school libraries, anywhere she felt we needed to glisten, all the while teaching us how to listen. Worked again when an injury put dad flat on his back. Had 3 jobs then: teacher, mother, wife, never too tired to love us all for life. And my mother is gone now, 2005, but I feel that she left an imprint on all of us. And I like writing about my mom. Thank you, K-Day.
Marlena, thank you so much for that piece. And I feel for you. I can't. I'm not there yet, but I think about the day that I'm without my mother a lot, and I really feel for you, and I appreciate you sharing that piece because it was beautiful, and I know that you honor her with your art. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic now to AJ, and Marlena will come back to you soon.
Yes, yes. Marlena, that was a beautiful piece. It made me think of my mother, who I lost 4 years ago. Well, you never lose. She's here. She's with me. She's within me. So we get in the habit of thinking the physical body is a loss, but the spiritual body is a gain. So thank you very much for that beautiful piece. I'm usually I'm supposed to be on the computer. That's why I'm looking like I'm in a dark room like this. I'm looking crazy. So I'm going to introduce the wonderful, lovely Lynn E, who I had the pleasure of meeting at Sims Library when we were supporting Queen Kwani and Andrea. I don't know where Andrea is right now, but we're going to introduce Lynn E. And please let us know who you are. I know who you are, a very powerful Black woman. But for those that don't know, I'd like for you to introduce yourself to the Artist Connection and let us know what you came here for.
And everybody, good evening. Thank you, Q, Andrea, and all of you, AJ, all of you that are hosting. I count it a privilege and an honor to grace this platform every opportunity that I get. Um, a little bit about myself for those of you that may not have met me in prior on the prior shows.
I have been in the mental health field for a little bit over 15 to 20 years, actually. I am an advocate for families and primarily mothers and their children. It's not that I'm not rooting for fathers, but my organization was actually birthed from a personal space in my life that really pushed me and propelled me to do something different and to create resources and connections between the families and community based as well as faith based organizations. I know that Andrea had mentioned earlier in the week that we would be touching on community and the importance of community. And when I think of community, I think of a group of people that come together with that share common interests, those that have a tendency to have common goals. It's a place that's normally established that allows people to have a sense of belonging. And again, I know that as many friends as I have in my life, when I was going through a divorce and I was going through a lot of changes in my life, as many friends as I had, I still felt at times isolated as if I was alone. But when I began to get with other women that were going through some of the same things that I had gone through, I was then able to feel connected to a sense of community. So I encourage people that get around people, not that will bring you down, but that you can benefit from and that you can feel a part of. And when you talk to people, I'm sure you can attest to this, that most times when you just sit and talk to other people, you will see that you're not the only person that's going through an isolated situation. In the moment you may feel that way, but as you begin to share and you allow others to impart in you and share with you as well, you'll see that we have more in common than those that don't have things in common. So I encourage you all tonight. I have some things that are coming up. I know I announced it the last time I was on, and I'm so grateful for Q and Andrea for staying on me and helping me stay focused with getting a lot of my social media engagement up, because I do believe that there is something that I could say that can help people. I don't know it all. And I do believe I'm not for every audience, but I do believe that there is an assigned and designated audience for me that I will be able to help in the future. And I just want to leave this little bit with you to encourage you all tonight. Again, I think all of you are beautiful artists. I'm so amazed every single time I hear you come and you do your poetry. I wish I could put pen to paper like that. I write, but I'm not a writer as it pertains to a poet. So I'm just amazed when I hear others flow in that vein. But I will say, I was listening to a show the other day, and a gentleman said to his son, he said, I see that you're spending a lot of time making a living, but I don't see you carving out time to live your life. So I just want to leave that food for thought with all of us, that sometimes we can get so caught in the hustle and the bustle of life, trying to maintain and keep up because we know that we have to work to eat. However, let's not spend too much time in that space of trying to achieve or overachieve to where we're making a living. We're scared of uh, going without, or we're feeling as if, maybe you come from a place of lack at some point in your life, and now you're on the road to gaining some type of financial momentum in your life, but you have it in your mind, pardon me, that you never want to go back to that place of lack. So you're constantly chasing and chasing and chasing. So let's not forget, excuse me, in all of the time that we're spending on making a living, to not set time aside to live our lives and to just make the best of life, because we only have one shot at this thing called life, right? And you want to make the most of it. You don't want to have all of these accomplishments behind your name and, you know, develop this huge fat financial bank account, and you work yourself into a grave, or you're not able to really enjoy it with the ones that you love. So let's keep that food for thought as we move about our day, our evening, and just the rest of our lives. And it's okay again to attempt to accomplish things, but let's just not forget to live in that. And one last piece to this is food. One more food for thought, and that's this:
Let's make sure that we're not just existing, but we're living. Thank you again for allowing me to be on this platform. Anytime I could share, anytime I could assist, anytime I could offer some type of advice or encouragement to you all. Thank you for allowing me to have that space with you, and I am here to do so. Thank you.
Mm. Lynn, thank you so much for sharing those gorgeous gems because, it's so easy to get caught up in the constant Ferris wheel, the revolving door of, just going and going and going. And as a single mother, like I really truly understand that when you have more roles and you know, just they keep adding on and you go till you're drained and then you go a little bit more and you look up and years have passed and you've accomplished so much, maybe not even financially, but just always on this, especially with the influences we have that we're seeing every day. It always seems like folks are doing so much and you think, I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. What am I doing in this house? Or what am I doing just working? I need to have 75 projects as well. I need to be spiritually aligned and emotionally healthy and financially there and be prepared for the future. And so you're right, because at the end of our life, we're not going to look back and have a list of our accomplishments held close to our chest. We will appreciate those things, but it's not going to be number one at the end of this existence, going into the next part of our existence. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for sharing. AJ, would you like to introduce another one of our beautiful guests?
Absolutely. I most definitely would. I am going to bring up the incredible, as she nods her head no, you know, I'm about to bring up Nobia. Um,
Hi.
how you doing, Nobia?
Um, I'm good. How are you?
I'm spectacular. I'm very happy and excited to hear you.
Um, uh, okay, I'm 16 years old, and I started writing poetry when I was 10. Poetry is definitely what I want to do with the rest of my life. I started barely posting on social media, and a lot of my friends think my poetry is good, which is like something I barely started doing like 2 months ago. And yeah, so I'm still very nervous when I read poetry and stuff, but I know I'm a good writer, and this is something I genuinely love to do. Um, yeah, that's really it. Um, the poem I'll read to you guys first is called "Sculpted Society." It basically covers the world's problems and how there's no fixing it. So like this, what we sculpted the world into. Um, we live in a world where we are told to love ourselves, but loving yourself too much is considered selfish. I may be young, but I swear I know what pure grace is. We live in a world where the mindset is money. You'll kill bees, then ask for honey. Now, why would you kill what has the power to sustain? I noticed our generation loves to complain about pain, but no one mentions the thrill and the gain. If we live in a world where it's fight violence, more violence, cause chaos, and expect silence, I noticed this world's compliance is slowly dying. What if we kiss the waters of everything beautiful and give it a consequence so there's no bullets devouring the skin of any living being and the animals decaying in it? I think the reason humanity is dying is because you're a fool if you think you'll prosper if you're not a product of pollution and slaughter. We cut down trees to make buildings, build stores to sell trees, identify our ocean as wasteland as if we didn't dress it in the surface, built an army. They labeled it factory, told the soldiers you're fighting for salary. This is how they get away with legalizing slavery, grooming human beings, teaching them survival of the fittest mentality, mastering the art of rapid strategy. If you're not a part of the world's taxes, you're playing Russian roulette, a death duet. Last man standing, holding gun in one hand and his self-esteem in the other. A masterpiece of what's left of the sculpture of society. Thank you.
That was incredible. That was incredible. I have to. I'm gonna go ahead and say something, Nubian, if I may. At the very top, before you began, you said, that's right, Nicole, the homie. Nicole says, Nubian, please keep writing. I know that she will keep writing because this is what she chose to do. She loves it. You said, I get nervous. And at the very beginning, you could hear the tremble in your voice. Anytime I've gone on stage, I used to be nervous to the point of throwing up because, and then I heard a long time ago, Marvin Gaye also had that same nervousness. Oftentimes, when you have those butterflies, your stomach start turning. Um, for many, it means that that's what you're supposed to do. That's the kind of emotion that you need in order to commit to something that you are passionate about. You need to have that rumble. We need to have that when we're at our jobs, in our relationships, with how we raise and nurture a dream, a child. We got to have that rumble. And the other thing that I noticed about you was that as fast as you were spitting, I heard every word. Can everybody say that they heard every word? That's a gift. And I'm gonna go back to Ludacris. Ludacris is one of the most articulate rappers because his grandmother told him, if you're gonna say something, make sure you're gonna be heard. And if you think of any of your favorite Ludacris songs, you don't ever not know what he's saying because he's always been very enunciative, and he gets up on the mic. So as fast as he spits or as slow as he spits, you know every word that he says. And when I heard you, I thought about your eloquence and how you enunciate so perfect regardless of the pace. And I really appreciate what you're doing at 16. You are more seasoned than um, you're supposed to be. So that was incredible. Is there anybody else that wants to give any kind of encouragement or support to Nubian? Feel free.
Well, I'd like to say this. This is my second time hearing her. In fact, when I heard that she was going to be on the show, I was actually even more excited to be on here. So you already have fans. That's all I can tell you. 16-year-old with fans.
Well, I would like to say something as a former high school teacher that you're outstanding and keep writing, keep being on shows. As AJ said, you'll get better with practice and just use your nervousness because all of us probably still are nervous on some level. So I mean, you're really something coming on here because you know some of your peers would never show up on a show like this. So you're outstanding. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a beautiful thing. Miss Lane, I saw your hand up.
I may have been a accidentally.
Okay. Okay. And I didn't even talk about
Nubian is the
that.
truth. You guys should hear more. Her poetry is fire. She read me a poem the other day. You got to do that one, Nubian. And the one she write for her mother is so beautiful. Her mom is such a beautiful, beautiful person. And then when she writes about how much she loves her mom, it just makes your heart just melt.
We all over here melted. and that connection over there is getting melted too, Dre. We got to figure out what's giving you all that feedback and that sizzle when you unmute the microphone. We got to figure that out. That was beautiful, Nubian. Can't wait for us to spin the block and come back to hear what your next piece is. Maybe you'll do the piece about your mother if you feel it, since uh, our sister had given props and honor to her mother. If that's the theme, that's going to be the theme. I want to pass the mic over to the chef, Chef Dre.
Hi, everyone. My connection's a little horrible today. My apologies. But I want to bring up to the mic Zuki. Zuki, tell us about what you do or your talents. And if you have a piece for us, please bless our mic.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You feel me? I go by Zuki. Pretty much, I'm an artist. I don't really like to put myself in a box. I like to rap. I like to sing. I like to write songs. I like to paint as well. I like to do photography, videography. I like to do a bunch of different things. I've been doing music like mainly the longest though. So I just recently moved out to LA like 2 years ago. I also have my own energy drink. I actually brought it out for you guys. I'm wearing my merch as well too. And it has my QR on it, which has my album. So when you scan it, my album comes up. So everybody listens. I have it in a couple stores. I'm looking to expand, looking to get some more distributions out here and manufacturers, just connect with the right people. But yeah, I mean, I was signed to a label like when I originally came out here, but now I'm really focusing on just being solely independent and really just trying to kick everything off. I started my own production company by myself, kind of just my wife got me a camera and I just ran with it for real. So now I'm shooting my own music videos, shooting like other people's stuff, doing photography, using that to also fund just other things that I want to do as well too. So yeah, you feel me? Y'all can follow me on the gram and stuff. I got a couple different grams. My main is I'm Zuki Baby, and my business page is Zuki G Productions. So y'all can spit a little something for y'all. You feel me? Let me think. I'm just not prepared. I'm sorry. Like, nah. I gotta suppress the aggression. They met how I've been finessing, but I'm just counting my blessings and working with what I'm left with. They think I'm the underdog. I hear it in the dialogue, but I'm the one that brought the city out. No casualties involved. We was out. You know what, Zuki? I don't think we heard all of that. And it was super fire to start off. So I'm gonna go cry in the car.
Zuki, why don't you, is your microphone unmuted?
Did you mute by accident?
Go out and come back in, Zo. Yeah, go out and come back in, and let's see, or do put your them things in. Zuki was tearing it up, a cappella, just was banging banging the desk, just tacking it to it. Zuki, can you say something?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you can hear me? All right, I had to take the potties out. It was killing the vibe. You feel me?
Okay, well, look, later for them potties. I need you to go ahead and be you the life of the potty. Come on, let's go ahead and run it back.
Oh, you
Let's
want me
do this.
running back? All right. Say less. Say less. You
Come on,
feel me?
come on. It's Zuki, baby. Come on.
Okay. I gotta suppress the aggression. They met how I've been finessing, but I'm just counting my blessings and working with what I'm left with. They think I'm the underdog. I hear it in the dialogue, but I'm the one that brought the city out. No casualties involved. We was out east with the beef and gravy. Told them pull up, don't you try to play me. Swear these hitters softer than my left cheek, and it ain't real beef. If it's tweet. I think I deserve the ball. I need my bread, crumbs and all. This is light it. How to ride a bike it. Pioneer crew taking off top flight. Whole team eating and it's yummy. I could really make the call. Please don't you be no dummy. What's up? Please don't you be no dummy. What's up? Yeah, that's something light. It's a light day.
Woo!
I'm glad I ain't go out on
Oh
y'all. I
no!
appreciate y'all. I definitely want to. I thought that was me. I was like, dang, I crashed the drone on y'all.
So, what's the name of the energy drink?
So my energy drink is called Zugerji. And I'm originally from Delaware, so I have it in some stores in my actually hometown city. Um, just trying to like get it out there to bigger brands, like working on getting it into like Walmart, like a Ralph's out here would be dope. Just like partnering with different manufacturers and distribution. So if any of you guys can point me in the right direction, definitely let me know.
I gotta drink some of that drink first.
Oh yeah, I got you. I need people, I want to start doing like testers around the city. We took it on tour, like on my way here. I drove here across country. So on my way here, we did like a tour with the Zugerji just to test it to see how it took on the West Coast. And we got really good reviews. So I'm really
What
looking forward
flavor
to pushing it.
is it? Well, how many flavors?
Well, right now we got two flavors right now. So we have this is the guava flavor, and then we have the sugar-free flavor, which doesn't really have the guava and it's kind of like a passion fruit.
Okay.
So this is the green can, then we got like the purple can, which kind of look like my hoodie. Yeah.
You gotta pop the collar. You gotta pop the hoodie when you do that,
You
Zuki.
feel me?
Right. I love it. I love it. That flow was just so cold blooded. I already know the energy drink is fire. If that
Thank you.
flow is,
Thank you. I
if that
appreciate it.
flow,
Coming to the store near y'all soon.
right, and we're gonna figure it out and have you setting up somewhere with some kind of end cap that has like that prime
Yeah.
and all the other stuff that's out there. Right, you need to be
Fact.
right there. That was beautiful. Is
Thank
there
you.
any other place where we can find your work? What's happening as far as the music is concerned?
Yeah, as far as my music, my last album I dropped in was in 2020 underneath my label. I'm looking to rebuild and rebrand myself under my independent joint. So all my work, like it's out on all streaming platforms. Like I got mad songs out, mad videos out. I dropped the album produced by Grammy nominated Sap. He produced like Victory Lap from Nipsey Hussle. He produced Donald Trump for Mac Miller. So it's like really good production. Just everything is really like a masterpiece. I love working with them. It's just like I just want to do my own thing now. I learned so much from working with them, and I just want to go a different direction. But it's still love. So like all the music that you'll see on all streaming platforms, it's still dope. Like definitely go run it up. And my
Absolutely.
Instagram is I'm Zoogie Baby. I could drop it in the chat too.
Yeah, drop it in the chat. And anybody that has any kind of social media handle, please drop it in the chat. So at the end of the night, we'll be able to refer. And for those that may or may not be on the group chat on IG, we just want to make sure that we build this connection for the artists so that we can have a network. Just in case anything happens with Zuki needs some assistance with the energy or Nubian, if there's a place for Nubian to come and rock the house and tear the house down, uh, we'll do it. So that's what the artist connection is all about. Elu says, "What city you in?" I believe Zuki's in L.A.
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
L.A.
but what city is you from? What city you from?
Oh, I'm originally from Delaware,
Delaware.
Wilmington, Delaware, 19802.
Wilmington. I know we up in the Wilmington.
Yeah, yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Wilmington.
Zuki, Elu wants to know, can we get you on stage Saturday on May 27th? Is it
Oh,
possible?
what's going on?
It's a night in Compton. It's a show.
Oh yeah, I'm with it. Let's get it.
Oh, it was a successful run. The first one was last month, and we're running it back. K Day was there, rocking the house, Drea, everybody. So you
Oh
in?
yeah,
It's a
can
great energy.
he send me the like all the information? Because I'm not from around here, so I still use the GPS. All
Right,
that get around.
right. Well, me and Elu are the GPS of LA, so everything is good. Yeah, we just exchange information and we'll be good.
Got
It's
you.
it's all right. I'm going to pass the mic over to 1580 and K-Day, how you doing? Over there cheesing and smiling. You just so happy to be back from New Hampshire, huh?
I'm happy to be home. I'm happy to be alive.
That's
It's
right.
just a good day to have a good day.
That's right. That's right.
Um,
You said you grown and sexy today. You put the
yeah,
lady on there. Excuse me.
I had to
1580.
do it. Thank you.
1580 lady
I'm
came down.
embracing I feel like I fall into my comfort zones a lot, and I don't like comfort zones. I can't stand comfort zones. So I started catching myself falling into the boxes of girl next door and the tomboy and the girl in the construction site and just my comfort zones and mommy and I shy away from the grown part and the queen boss part of me. And that's beautiful. I want to embrace all of me, so I want to make that change out loud and embrace what scares me. um so that's a evolution for me. I would really love to introduce at this point Brother Cedric. I cannot wait to hear what you have to contribute to the conversation. And please
Absolutely.
let us know your lane, what you got going on, and please drop as much knowledge and wisdom as you possibly can, because I can see it. I see the wheels turning.
Well, I'm just happy to be on here with all these great artists. Uh, One of the things I want to, well, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Cedric Holloman. I'm with Executive Retirement Solutions. I specialize in preparing to help people with their futures, helping people prepare for their futures, rather. Also, I dwell in the life insurance space, making sure people are protected properly. But before I get into that, I just want to piggyback on one of the things Lynn was saying about getting your mind right,
Yes.
because you need to get your mind right before you get your money right. And a lot of reasons why people mishandle finances is because their minds are scattered or they're
Yes.
unfocused or they got all that stuff going on, right? So the hardest thing it is for me to get a person to do is just to sit down and focus and let's talk about the future a little bit. Let's talk about your situation. Let's talk about your needs and let's get all that together. Because what I find is the reason why I have this background. Q was teasing me about my background here, because this is a beach background, the Caribbean, Hawaii, something like that. Because it's what people envision when they think about the future. They think about relaxing. They think about retiring. But what I found is people spend more time planning their vacations than they do their retirement.
Man.
And that's a shame. So, but if I could just get a little bit of that time that they use to plan the next trip, we could actually set them up for the future. So, one of the things that I want to, another reason why I like listening to the artists, though, is because, like Lynn said, we got to work on our minds, but the poetry you guys spit out there helps people's minds relax. Because none of the other times I've been on the show or I've listened to the show as a fan, I've just been amazed at some of the things I've heard. And I'm going to steal one of these things I've heard. I like this woke boomer. I like that. I like the woke boomer. I think I want to be a woke boomer too, right? So part of being a woke boomer is making sure people who are younger actually sit down and take care of their finances. So one of the things I try to get people to do is let's look at where you are, talk about where you want to be, and then let's put a plan step by step to get to where you want to be. And if your plans are too far-fetched, I try to drag people back into reality and tell them, hey, are you willing to do what it takes to get that? If you are, I'll help you do it. But now once they see what it takes, they say, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "Okay, so let's temper this and be realistic." But you can still dream. But remember, if you want to dream, you got to work for the dream. The dream's not going to happen accidentally. You have to put the work in to get it done. It's my job to put the infrastructure in place. So once your dream is in place and you start the work to put it together, you have something solid that you can put it into that'll get you dividends on the back end. So before I close what I have to say tonight, though, I want to just let you guys know that you can use insurance in all kind of different ways. First of all, it should be beneficiary driven. And what I mean by that is if you have somebody that you depend on financially as the person who's dependent, you need to talk to that person about, hey, you need to get some insurance. You can't leave me here by myself if something happens to you unexpectedly, and now I have to raise these children, pay this mortgage, take care of your final expenses. You have to leave me some money to do that. So don't be timid if you depend on someone else. If you're a wife or if you're a husband and you guys depend on each other, talk about that and make sure you're in a position where if something happens to them, you can keep it moving. If you have seniors, so you can use insurance for that. You can also use it for final expenses. That's what people think about it the most is, okay, well, who's going to pay for this funeral? And I hate to see every time I drive down the street and I see people washing cars or trying to pick up money at the intersection, I just shake my head. I'm like, somebody wasn't prepared. And, I hate to see them not prepared when there's people like me available to help them. Also, another place you can help, you can use insurances to save for your children's college education. A lot of people don't really know that, but there's policies that you can put in place where you can save for a child's education kind of clandestinely. I say clandestinely because once people get to college age, you got to fill out these things called FAFSA forms to see if you're getting financial aid. And what people don't realize, if you save a lot of these investment accounts, they want you to put that on the form, and they're going to cut your financial aid by how much money the parents have already saved. But policies don't show up on the FAFSA form. So, you can save for the child's education. They don't ask that question, at least right now. And you use that money for their travel, for their books, for their tuition, for the dorm, and then they can still get maxed out financial aid. So that's another place that people can use insurance to save. But one of the ones I specialize in is in planning for retirement. We do supplementary retirement plans using insurance that you can put money into a policy, and when it's time to take the money out, you get your money out totally tax exempt, totally tax free. And that's big because most people are using 401k plans, which they're getting a tax break on now, but the government is lying in wait. IRS is actually lying in wait. They can't wait for you to retire and start taking that money out. So they can just pounce on you and get as much taxes out of that account as possible. And they get the money before you do. You take it out, they want theirs first. Then you get the rest. So wouldn't it be better to put your money in something like Roth IRAs are good? But the thing about Roth is you can only put in so much money. And if you start making a lot of money, they take it away from you. But you can put as much money in some of these policies as you like. And then we can leverage the cash on the back end into a tax-free income stream to supplement your Social Security and supplement your other investments. So those are the areas that I specialize in, and I love working with artists because the artists are the most neglected class of people when it comes to saving money for the future or getting prepared for the future. Sometimes they make a lot, sometimes they don't, but when they hit it big, sometimes that draws the sharks who take advantage of them. When they should be working with someone who's going to be with them whether they're big or not, and not take advantage of them and make sure that they're well taken care of. And my company is one of those groups of people that actually gets that done. So those are things I wanted to share tonight. And again, I'm just happy to be with the artists. When Andrea talked to me about the being on the show tonight, I accidentally spit some bars this afternoon on accident, So don't ask me to repeat it tonight. I can't do it. But when she asked me to be on, I said, yeah, I want to hear the poetry. And then I said a couple of things by accident, and I didn't want to get her excited and her ask me to say anything like that because I'd rather hear you guys rather than try to do that myself. Although you do inspire me because I like to write one day. I like to do some writing. So you guys, that's why I like being around you guys because it's an inspiration. So I appreciate you guys having me on the show, and I hope that information was helpful.
Cedric, we appreciate it so much. And circling back to the theme of community, I just think that it's incredible to have so many folks around us who can share different concepts and different areas of life that we really need to survive out here and thrive. And there are so many things that we weren't taught in our community, and we have to learn it a lot of the way, like go around and learn on our own things that we were not taught that other people were. Or we're very much in our community networking. That's where we thrive. We help each other out, we learn from each other. A lot of things are learned word of mouth, and it's just such an amazing thing to have that here, because it's part of life. And sometimes, like Christmas comes around every year if you celebrate Christmas. And many people are scrambling, even though we know that it's coming every single year. Life happens. And when you live in paycheck to paycheck and maybe you're not prepared, even though you know it's coming, sometimes it hits you by surprise. And with these topics that are uncomfortable, such as death, we know it's coming. I remember that when my father passed, my mom, they thought that they had done well and planned and they were prepared, but you also are in emotional distress when you lose someone so close. And she wasn't as prepared as she thought she was. So she had to learn so much in the middle of her grief. And those are things that we could really use a lot of people advising us and teaching us those concepts, because we want to be prepared so that when those things happen, not just death, I know there's so many other things to plan for, but preparation is just the key to so many things. So I
Well, I'm
really
glad you
appreciate.
mentioned that thing about the funeral. The two times I find that people are most taken advantage of are planning for weddings and planning for funerals, because the expectations are so high, and and the emotions are so high, and that's when people who are maybe unscrupulous take advantage of us the most. That's what I've noticed. That's what I've seen. And I look at money as ministry, because I'm in the ministry as well. So I look at this as not just business and trying to make money doing it, but it's ministry to people. Like I said, I end up having to deal with people's minds first before I can talk to them about their money, because I have to assess, okay, what's the emotional state of this couple, of this person, where they're in life. And you have to be patient with people. That's something else I noticed. Don't try to just sell somebody something so you can make a buck. Because I've talked to people and I might not do business with them until a year later. And they compliment me because they say, I appreciate that you didn't just try to hustle me. Because people get hustled enough in this world. So they need somebody who's going to, wait them out and know that you care about them and not just try to do business with them. And I'm glad you mentioned also that one of the things that holds us back a lot is expectations with these holidays. Sometimes you just need to opt out. Don't just let the pressure of a holiday put you in debt. Um, just tell the people you might want to buy presents for, look, not this year. I'm getting out of debt this year. I'll hit you next year. I'll hit you on your birthday. So be a little selfish every now and then when you're trying to work on your own personal financial situation.
Yes. Something that you said, um, the way that you approach what you do, even though, of course, we're all trying to make a living, the way that you approach it, the intentions, integrity goes so far. And that means so much, and it will get you further in life, just moving with integrity. And yes, many folks do get taken advantage of when especially, I like that you brought up about artists, because our line of work is very abstract. It can be very freelance, and there's this narrative that creatives are not organized or not financially, prepared, or not moving in the same way that maybe people in other lanes of work go about their business. But we have all of that capacity to handle our business and be organized and prepared. But I can see how artists and creatives can be taken advantage of. The greatest part of being an artist is creating, and then you got to be serious and actually network and market and promote. And circling back to Zuki, I love how you're in so many lanes and you're, you've got your merchandise and you're putting yourself out there. I mean, that's a huge part of, being in this lane of life.
She's an entrepreneurial artist.
Yes. Yes, and
Yeah,
that's a key.
honestly, just to piggy off of like what you said, I honestly became I started my own production company, started doing my own stuff because I felt like I was getting taken advantage of. Even like by the label, but them telling me they'll pay for it, but I can't have creative control. Where it's like, oh, we'll fly you here, we'll fly you there, you can do this at the third, but you also got to do with this. It comes with this at the third. And it's like, nah, just cut all that out. I'm just like, I'm gonna do it myself. I ain't got to worry about this person trying to, like, I'm preserving my energy, just doing everything myself. And then I wanted to encourage you too, Nubian, because right now with you being 16, like you're in a very good market right now. Like you should really take advantage of that market. Like when I was a kid, we didn't have social media and stuff like that. And I know it's hard to put yourself out there, but it does pay off. Like I get paid for posting videos on Instagram. Like that's all I do. Like post little videos on Instagram. They give me a little money and it add up. You know what I'm saying? The more videos you post, the more your following grows, the more your engagement grows. You could be really getting a check a month. You 16. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't even gotta leave the house to make a video for real. And you dope too. So it's like hone in on that. Like the younger you are, when you hone in on that, like you the future. You know what I'm saying? Show people that you really into it. They're gonna pour into you. Like they're gonna keep pouring into you. Like just keep going. Like don't stop.
Hey, I'll follow you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Most of the time, I like I said, I just be nervous, and I did start posting on TikTok, and I get like little comments and stuff that motivates me, and they tell me a lot of people that they like my poetry, and I like my poetry too. It's just I just be scared. Um, I I don't know what I'm scared of. I'm scared of myself. I've always been perfectionist. Like in school, if I get a B, I'll cry, and my mom could tell you that I had a little panic attack like a few months ago because my grade went down. So like the fact that I would let myself down over poetry, which is something I love, would break my heart. So that's why I'm so scared. I'm scared of letting down myself. Yeah. But thank you. I love all you guys' support and kind words, and I love that you guys love my poetry.
AJ, would you like to bring up the next person up to the mic?
Yes. The next person to the mic who has already given praise to her wonderful mother. I would like to bring you back. We're going to circle this and go right around again and bring it to the sister, Marlene.
Hello, thank you, AJ. And I want to first piggyback on what's been said, that I grew up in a time when uh, I had, well, I will say I had aspirations to be an actress and a couple other things, but I was encouraged to take, quote unquote, a stable job. So I became a teacher, and I talk about that in the book that I'm working on. And I'm not knocking being a teacher, but we all know there's quite a bit of baggage that goes with it. And those of you aspiring now, as was pointed out, there's more of an opportunity to go the creative route than it was in the past. And I'm happy now that I have more time to contribute, and also looking at the money thing. Yes, you can't just, you know, run through your bank account. And I was reading about some of the things they said about baby boomers, and I'm like, well, that's kind of a blanket type of thing, because for one thing, I don't think people of color, we have a certain lane. You know, we can't just fit into a certain label. we have experiences which are unique to the Black experience, the Hispanic experience, and so forth. So to try and throw me in a box, please don't do that. And hopefully I have another shot. I have another poem that addresses that. But I'm going to read another mom poem, so bear with me. And it does touch upon some of the things you guys talked about. Red. Her color was red for certain things, not everything. Not because it was her favorite. Green was her favorite. Not because we buried her in a red dress, wearing one of her favorite Navy church hats. Not because it was her chosen shade of lipstick. Not because she painted her fingers that color. She was feminine, but rarely wore nail polish. Her three daughters were just like her in that respect, but her husband did polish his, clear polish. So men doing that is not new, only the colors are. Her color was red, not because she loved to see things and people bleed. Never insisted on matching tees or outfits in red. Never bought an SUV in crimson red. Never had those kind of desperate needs. Her family always got the bandages first. But she needed roses, red American beauties, no other color. And she insisted on writing her checks out in memorable red ink. In curlicue cursive handwriting I always loved. Red was my mother's color then. Mom had a fortress of big pens with red ink. Dad worked sometimes two jobs while mom paid all of our bills in red ink. Sometimes right before seeing the proverbial red. When they both died in 2005, their attic was filled with the paper monuments, including canceled checks we could finally shred. But I kept some. Mom and dad died in the black. Mortgages, too, were paid in full by then. Money in the bank to give to their four adult children. Thankful there was no red at the end, except for mom's bright red dress, funeral roses, and some of her big pens. Thank you, AJ.
Bars, bars, bars.
That was it. That was it. I have a quick little story. Um, my mother married a second time to this man who was more of a father to me than my biological. And they got divorced really quick. So I didn't get a chance to really enjoy uh, this male figure. And back in the day, I think TV Guide or something, you could order pens. You could order these red pens, like 200 of them for $5. And I thought it was so slick for me to order some pens for the Inglewood Playhouse. You know, my pops was running the Inglewood Playhouse in Centinela Park. They call it the William Agee Playhouse now. But it said Inglewood Playhouse 678-8300, and it was in red ink. And when they got the boxes, I was so happy. I said, "I got a surprise for you, Dad," because he had just said, "You don't have to call me Cephas, call me Dad." So I got a surprise for you, Dad. And it was a big box of 500 red Bic pens. And my mother and pops, they looked at it and they said, "This is very this is wonderful. They couldn't use them, they couldn't because it was red ink, unless they were trying to correct something. And they wanted to let me know that just the thought of what I did was enough. That the effort and thinking at 11, I think I was about 11 years old. I don't even know how I got that $5, but It was like 200 pens, 200 red ink pens. And when she divorced him, and we were living in on Vernon in Normandy, uh, out there in South Central, I was missing my father. I was missing my pops, and uh, I was rummaging through a treasure chest looking for some toys or something, and I saw a red ink pen. And I just started crying, and just a little tear came down. I ain't no alligator, crybaby, but my mother came in and she caught me, and I was rubbing my eyes. She said, "Son, what's going on?" Uh, Nothing. And she saw me with the red ink pen, and she said, do you miss Cepheus?" And I said, "Yeah, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am." And she called that 678-8300 number, and it was no longer there. It was disconnected, and and I went to the bathroom because I'm too much of a man at 12 years old to cry. So I went to the bathroom, and I just like, "Oh, I ain't gonna never have my daddy again. This is terrible." But she ended up getting the other number. He was over on 1050 Redondo. But when you talked about those red pens and the dress and the roses, it got me to thinking. That's very, very beautiful work. Very beautiful work. So, Brother Cedric said you want to hear some poetry, and you've been hearing it. You enjoying it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I'm
You got it from the youngest to the eldest, and everything in
That's right.
between.
That's right. That's right. So I'm gonna do a piece called "Poetic Reminder." I wrote it for a room on Clubhouse. The name of the room was called "Poetic Reminder." This is about me, about my life. It's already cuffed, collared, tagged, and gassed. This the magic one can walk right on past. I'm audio physio psychic, a echelon bomb, supreme higher mind. I'm self-designed, plus a Mongo of war. Lifesaver, newborn, new blood from Newburn, from a tribe called Tuscarora. Papa came, quested, and copped in the landlocked volunteer state in Franklin, banking left wide to West Side, 18th Street. Wildlife fresh. The spot where AJ was spawned as fauna and flora. In the silence, I reached an artist connection on Geechee recollection. Intellect was never like the rest. Most who colored out the lines of wrong and right unofficially, you were ref. Pinstriped in black and white. Simple minded, absent, go find it. My trigger's been triggered. I pulled back till the chamber discharged the blank, and for a loving mama and no memories of trauma, I got to thank. Those album cover tarot reads foretold a brilliant seance into the renaissance a hero leads. Learning and leaning on a passion burning, all harvest, all star. Paul Lawrence Dunbar, all God, all day. Call on Claude McKay, all bounty to sink my skull in. I know I call up County Cullen, all gas pumped to overflow with last poets. Zora Neale, it was more to feel. Enamored in an anthology of a blues people's biology. I inherited a Scott Heron feel in my gills, and my skills revealed as self-merited. Ancestral echoes borrowing my libretto made me parade the cascade of becoming a mountain from a pebble. Mama told me don't meddle in the store. She repurposed the statement later in my greatness to be metal. Son, your texture will be questioned. Keep applying pressure for lesson. They can defy you till you die and never put no life on the try. It's just done or you don't. Straight up, point blank, period. Make a significant contribution to the liberation of our people. Anything under that, I ain't hearing it. Dr. Khalid Muhammad showed me. Dr. John Henry Clark, I listened to and held the hand of that black man. Learned to be humble in the midst of legacy. On the podium, passing the piece I penned on an envelope, giving it to Dick Gregory. On a bus with Paul Mooney, I gave him my autograph as a teenager and said, "You tell the world you knew me." Teaching algebra at 15 at Masjid Ibn Rabah, laid the cables down at the convention center as instructed by Brother Rashad. As the Honorable Minister Farrakhan came in, I set up the mic for him to spit his magnanimous flame in. Soul Train gave me the vision of rhythm, indigenous-ism to shake my thing in. At 5, I was so alive, well-traveled with the wealth unraveled, and a prince on quest to be king was handled, yet replete to receive hassle and defeat. Whew. Man, I heed that a God has to lose and hurt and grieve and be suppressed to test his will to believe. And I did. And I do. Still in search of what is real, fact, false, fake, or true. The more dwelled in the dark I found, so enlightened in the pitch profound. And in that midnight I made partner. Was feeling a nyctophilia vibe right, zoned until I honed the fly of my twilight, emboldened my breath, answering my tap to connect the eras and ages and decades and genres to collate the pages and revise and rewrite, recoil and recite, be loyal in my fight and keep pushing. Y'all see that? Keep teaching. Y'all hear that? Keep proceeding, precedent setting, record breaking, no small shit ever. All timely and towering, all divine and empowering. The Supreme Council is proud. It's why the riches are showering. Thank you, and I love you.
Bars.
I
Bars.
love hearing the stories of your life. Just the word is magical. I mean, just the way that you play with the English language. It's a lot. I know there's a lot of layers to that. Thank you so much for sharing. Should we bring it back around? I have a helper with me. I have Nala Jade. She wants to know. She said, "Mommy, who's Dick Gregory?"
What's her middle name?
Jade. It's a cross between Jade and Sade.
Okay. My son's middle name is Ade. I thought it was right. Yeah, we should run it back, circle the block, and come back. Cedric, we got to talk. We got to talk about it because I want to know what kind of way that we can simplify for the youngsters. You know, just like with public school, there's a whole bunch of nonsense that children are taught young, information that they'll never apply in their adult life. And there's got to be a simplified way that I could create some type of rap to teach people about the significance of insurance, because you can create your own bank that way.
Right.
You can take your money out and save it. It's got to be something, because when we think of insurance, most oftentimes for young adults, they think in car insurance, you know, or whatever kind of insurance that their job gives them in terms of their health, medical and dental. But never do we talk about life insurance, because we think that's an old person's thing. You know, you can have it as young as you want to. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. I'm glad you mentioned that about the bank. I do a lot of work with LA County law enforcement, actually, and have a client that she's a sheriff, single parent mom, got 2 sons. They're doing little league baseball. She saw the opportunity to put together a food truck where she was going to sell snacks and stuff to the people who attended the games. And she didn't want to take out of her savings for emergencies for this. So she decided to call me and ask me about accessing her policy cash to see if she could do that. And she had cash available because she had her policy a number of years. So I showed her a way that she could actually take a loan against the policy, not borrow her money, borrow the company's money, leave her money in the policy, let it continue to accumulate. And what she was doing basically was taking a loan, a collateral loan against her cash, not her money, because that's the way you used to do it the old way with whole life policies. You're borrowing your money from yourself, basically. Here, you're borrowing the insurance company's money. She could do whatever she needed to do, and she bought the truck, or she did whatever, put together whatever she wanted to put together. And now she's been selling snacks at the games, and now she's going to pay the money back once she makes some money off her business venture. So this is something that actually happened here in the community. She was able to do that, and that just gives you an example of how you can use it. And then she can pay the money back whenever she wants. That's another thing. They don't put you on a payment schedule like you do when you borrow from a 401k plan or something like that, or a bank loan or something like that. When you borrow collaterally from an insurance policy, they're going to charge interest because that's how they make money, but because they're loaning you their money. But you can pay it back whenever you like. So it gives you some flexibility where you're not stuck. One of the things, since you mentioned the young people, I want, and maybe you can make a poem out of this, AJ. But I want to just close with, how did the devil rule the world? And the way he does it, he gets us enslaved to debt. And the way he does it, like when a person goes to get groceries, they're in the grocery line, and they see the magazines while they're standing in line. And so there's all these flashy headlines on the magazine, better sex today, all this kind of stuff like that, right? Salacious stuff. And so they pull the magazine out, and before they can get to that article, they got to go through all these ads. And the ads are creating desire. And so they buy the groceries, they get in the car, they turn the car on, turn the radio on, and before you can hear your favorite song, you're hearing more ads. Buy this car, smoke this cigarette, buy this dress, shop at this store. And so there's more desire being created, bombarded on your subconscious mind. Then when they get home, they're opening the mail, they check the mail, open the mail, there's a pre-approved credit card in the mail. And the limit says, sign here, you get $3,000 Visa or MasterCard. And they sign and they send it in and they get the card. But instead of looking at that card, $3,000 as a limit, they look at it as a goal. In other words, how fast can I charge up $3,000? And they know this. The credit card companies know this. So when you get close to the limit, they send you another card. And then you run that one up. And then you get the limit of those two, they send you another card. And what they don't tell you is if you have a $3,000 balance and you pay the minimum, it's going to take you 20 some years to pay it off, which means you're never going to pay it off. And next thing, and now you're in debt and you're enslaved. And so what we have to do is change our mindset and understand, because we live in a consumer society. We got to teach young people, maybe you can write a poem about this. Don't be a slave. Don't let the devil put you in debt such that now you're a slave and you're making decent money, but you are living underneath your means because you're in all this debt. Now you can't buy the things you really want to buy. You can't make the investments you really want to make. You can't buy the policies you really should have for your family because you can't afford it. And it's not because you don't make the money. It's because you're paying all these people before you can pay yourself. And you need to pay yourself first. But instead, you got all these bills that come in. Now you got to pay yourself last. So we can teach young people that early to understand that there's a war going on out there. It's a spiritual war to enslave us financially. And what we rather do is just invest money, not where we own stuff. You want to buy stocks, buy mutual funds, own companies instead of just doing business with companies and them making money on you. Buy some Target stock, Dayton Hudson, buy some Walmart. Wherever you go shop, just buy that. So at least you know that if you buy Nike tennis shoes, you own some Nike stock, you get some of your money back. So I just want to drop that on you on the way out. Right?
When I order something from Amazon, I'm comfortable and happy to know that I'm a Amazon stockholder.
Shareholder, that's right.
When I listen to Spotify, I say, that's great. Glad to know that I own shares in Spotify. Whatever company that I solicit, whatever I'm a consumer of, I figure out um, whether it's in the best interest to play the long game, give me a stock or two. And that's exactly what you just said right there. I'm already working on it. Death and Debt, Ads, Desire, How the Devil Rule the World. I'm over here writing already. You didn't
I
even
know
know it.
you are. I
I'm
know
over
you
here
are.
writing the
Let
whole.
me
I'm
know when
gonna have
it
the whole
comes
thing
out so
done
I
by
can
the end of
hear
the
it.
show. At the end of the show, I'm gonna have it all done.
All right. All right.
That's right. K Day. It's on you, 1580. Nubian keeps bumping in and out. We got to bring Nubian back. I know
Yeah,
Marlana wants to
I
hear.
think the theme of today is Wi-Fi problems.
That's the theme of the day. That's right. That's sure enough the theme of the day. Hmm.
I'm having myself right now. Actually, come here, baby.
We're coming next to
I
the
think I'm
mic.
having a little delay because I'm.
We're
Anyways,
coming next to the mic. I know somebody who doesn't have a delay, and that's the wonderful, beautiful, lovely Lynn E. that is getting ready to give us 8 bars, 12 bars, 16 bars. I know you got something. What? What? Excuse me, life coach. You there, there's no bars at all. Uh, Miss Lenny, I know that you are an artist. There is no way that I saw you at the Sims Library with the persona and the presence that you had, and you have not engaged in any kind of song, lyric. There's nothing.
I'm not.
Cedric and I, as the last brothers here on this show, we are completely baffled. We can't even believe you bring so much knowledge and so much truth to the fold. We knew that there was some art nestled and tucked somewhere. And you got to unmute that microphone.
Are you there?
Now we can hear you. Yes. Go ahead and tell us what you're not gonna do. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that I'm not a poet in that. I mean I speak, but not you know not as a poet. So
Well,
if you
there is poetry in your work, and that can't be denied. So I'm very thankful for what you do, what you do offer, because there is poetry in that.
then I would be able to see that.
Absolutely. You know what we're going to be doing? I think that this is one of the final
Uh-oh.
uh,
Can you hear
arts
me?
connection. No, we did not hear you at all. We can
Oh
hear you
wow.
now. Yes.
I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. I'm gonna make it short. I was saying that I was hoping that Nubian can be on for what I'm about to say, but hopefully all of you that are still here can take something away. I
Boom.
know
There
what
he is
that
right
feeling
there.
is like. Oh, hi, Nubian. There you are. Okay. I wanted to encourage you, Nubian, to let you know that you're not alone. As some of the other artists have stated, that I believe that we all experience nervousness. And I know that
That's right. He experienced
if
nervousness.
you, yes, if you continue to engage in your social media platform, I think there comes a time to where we have to all show ourselves a level of grace and give us that space to for error and growth. And don't be so hard on yourself because you are so amazing. You don't know how your poetry and your gifting can assist someone who may be hanging on the edge of life and hanging on to a word
that's embedded in your poetry. So try not to be so hard on yourself and give yourself room to grow. And I'm speaking from experience. Even at my big old age, I have to tell myself that, because sometimes we can get captivated by the snippets of what we see, or what other people capture in their lives on social media. And we, as Katie said, we have a tendency to kind of, try to move in that direction that other people are moving in. But you have to know, even at this age, Nubian, that we all have to just stay in our lane, know what our gifting is, and know that there is room for each one of us. So I think, and I want to encourage you and anyone else as well as myself, that we are someone's lifeline, and there's something that we have to say that can be a blessing and an encouragement to someone else. So try not to be so hard on yourself. Give yourself that space. Operate in grace. Be kind to yourself. Give it a shot. Engage more on your social media platform and share your poems. And I guarantee you, by word of mouth, you'd be surprised at the followings and the engagement that you get, and just the comments of what your poetry can do to help heal others. So I hope that that's helpful, in addition to what the other artists have encouraged you with through the night. So thank you again for sharing, and thank you for your sharing your vulnerabilities. And just know that we're here to support you and to encourage you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the encouragement
Of course.
and all of the words you provided for me. Um, it really does help. It means a lot that you care enough to tell me that you think I would be great. And I just thank you so much.
You're
I
so
really
welcome.
do appreciate it.
Of course, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Lynn E. And on that note, the next artist coming to deliver some brilliance to us is a 16-year-old dynamic writer that has blessed and graced us the first time. And Nubian is coming right back to deliver to us another installment of your greatness. Are you ready?
Okay, so you guys said I should read a poem of my mom. So this one is called WHM, and stands for Women's History Month, but because that's the time I wrote about her, and kind of is like a token for all mothers. But yeah, I tie my heartstring to the edge of kite ropes and let my mind tremble down symphonies of pin-picked headaches, making thoughts feel like long conversations taken for granted. And let women mean both beauty and beast. Sometimes I use my mother voice to say things because I'm too afraid of the outcome. My mother is both pure and blunt all in one. I'm pretty sure my mother has superpowers. She wears a cape, but she wears a purple cape. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Nubian, let's go to the beginning. I wanted to cut you off anyway and say, run that first line back. Let's go back. Okay. I
Okay.
need I need you to go back and let's hear it again. Yes,
Okay.
please. Thank you.
I tie my heartstring to the edge of kite ropes and let my mind tremble down symphonies of pin-pricked headaches, making thoughts feel like long conversations taken for granted. And let women mean both beauty and beast. Sometimes I use my mother's voice to say things because my mom is pure, both blunt and beautiful all in one. I'm pretty sure my mother has superpowers. She wears a purple cape with heavy lace diamonds on it because you have to look good while carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Women carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. With rivers filled with gold, my mother is priceless. She has a wand painted with her confidence used to erase our problems. She's incredible yet still shed blood, sweat, and tears for a matter of time just to bring me into the world, nothing less to question than did I deserve it. Because I'll make a model out of mommy before I use her stretch marks as a compliment on how she made me. I think my mom is a warrior. I see mommy and I think she's battled more than she knew herself capable of. She and is will always be a warrior. Effort are magical. Women are powerful.
As are you. As
Mm.
are you. Beautiful. Beautiful, Nubian. That was spectacular. When are we looking forward to a book? because you know you have five readers that's getting this book already, not to mention those that love you. So it's a plus five over here. When's this book coming? Unmute that microphone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely want a book. Me and my auntie Andrea have been working on that. I still have to get my poems copyrighted and stuff sent to me. But yeah, I definitely want to write a few books. I write poetry every day. I I love this is what I do. I love poetry. Yeah, so I do want a book one day.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. I love poetry too. And I started writing a poem per day for 366 days this year. It's not 365 because next year is a leap year and there's going to be February 29th in 2024. So I'm at, today's the 18th. I started April 1st, which was the so called beginning of National Poetry Month. So I'm 48 in. And there's a couple of poems that I might not want you to stumble upon on my IG because what I'm doing is as I write, I start to explore more about myself through the expression of poetry and doing the research and doing the deep dive into your childhood and that uncle or that auntie that really gave you the inspiration that you needed for uh, that one day when y'all went to the horse racing and you didn't want to go and you sat in the parking lot eating French fries. You know, all these things give you emphasis on the type of person that you'll be in the future. And there's all kinds of give and take and roller coasters that go around, and you read so fast. I know that you're thinking just as fast, if not faster. So I know that you have thoughts going on in your head all the time because it reflects the speed and the intellect in the speed in which you speak. That's what makes it so dynamic is that at 16 years old, your processing, just like we talk about the motherboards on the computers, your processing power is much more advanced than any other because there's so much power in every verse and I don't have to waste no time trying to say no unnecessary stuff to you. Oh, that's fire. That's great. No, you really have a special gift, and the nervousness is part of it. That's all a part of it. That's what I had, and that's what I still have. You know what I mean? I messed up a couple of times doing my piece. I stopped and you heard me, right? I know you were
Yeah,
there. Yeah, I know you were there.
yeah.
And I've been writing since 28. I'm 51. So 23 years and I still have that rumble in my stomach. I know it's what I'm supposed to do. I was born to do it. And even your name, the name that you choose, Nubian, there ain't no greater name that reflects who you are. You are dynamic, you are beautiful, and you are powerful. And your intellect is far greater than any other 16 out here today. We had a different 16 when I was 16. It's a different 16 today. And you you
Um,
you the 16 that we had back in the day. You see,
I will. I'm so sorry. My mother wanted me to tell you guys that she named me Nubian. That's my actual name.
of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Without question. You have been a joy and a pleasure for me today, and you've been an inspiration to me. I know it's impossible to believe that somebody at 51 can be inspired by someone at 16, but that's the way it is. When you really appreciate and you recognize greatness, you have to speak upon it and you run to it. You never run away from it. You understand? So
I
I'm here to serve as whether it's a mentor or someone that you can listen to because this project that I'm doing and even about me, this is a project I'm presenting to the world. It, people were on Instagram giving a shout out to James Brown, and I thought, James Brown is such an inspiration to me. I don't want to do. I ain't got no time since I'm doing a time to do no epic piece about James Brown. He meant too much to me. I got stuff to do today. I ain't got no time to make no epic. And today was, I mean, it was Stevie Wonder and James Brown's birthday this month. And through my research, I found out that James Brown and Sugar Ray Robinson were born on the same day. And as I did the research on Stevie Wonder, found out that Stevie Wonder and Joe Louis were born on the same day, 36 years apart. But what this does when you decide that you want to choose a craft like this, you got to really go all the way in, and you have to start discovering things that's bigger than you, so that the world talks about you while you living and when you're gone. And this is a calling that few of us have. Some of us do it as a hobby. You have a calling. It's already
Thank
there on
you.
you. Oh, you ain't got to thank me. You you got
Thank
to
you.
you got to thank you got to thank your parents, and you got to thank the source and the force that put it on you. It's the fact that you answered it and you heeded it and you move. And I'm telling you, it's something that's it's remarkable. You're gonna have to see my page, and you're gonna have to see what's going on there, because you're gonna get hyped up. You're gonna be writing 10, 20 poems a day.
Thank you. My family thanks you as well. They've been yelling, trying to tell you that they thank you so much. And yeah, I get all my support and motivation from them. And
I already
this is
know.
all nothing but God. Um, it's nothing but God.
That's it. That's it. That's it. The last piece was called. It was three letters. It was what was AWH?
WHM.
WHM, Women's History Month. Okay, okay, that's right, that's right. Beautiful, Nubian. This has been a highlight. I've enjoyed everybody, especially you, especially you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Continue to write. 1580, lady. I'm passing the mic to you.
Nubian. I think we all see a bit of our story in you, and just the way that you opened up with the substance of your first poem and the heart of your second poem. You are an old soul, and you're in a beautiful time because there's so many resources right at your fingertips where, I really relate to the perfectionism, and I still get nervous. I barely started performing a year ago. And let me tell you, I have learned so much about the way that I speak to myself through sharing my gift. I held it so long because I listened to other folks who were intimidated by the light, who told me you can't do something because they couldn't do it or because they weren't brave enough to even try. And I have a very great person in my life, a good friend who has given me so much good advice. And I was influenced to step out of my box because I saw him just living his creative life and making his dreams into realities. And I thought, I have all those same interests. Could I do that too? And you start just kind of taking one step in front of the other instead of staring at the whole staircase that's in front of you. And I want to take all these steps, but I'm looking at 52 steps. How am I going to make it? I'm tired on the first one. If you live impeccably and you focus on one step at a time, just one, do the best you can at just the step in front of you, then the next one is going to come a little bit easier and the next one. But when you start looking up at that staircase, it becomes very overwhelming. And so if you can just get one syllable how you want it, and get comfortable with a syllable at a time or a breath at a time, it's gonna create momentum. And the next thing you know, you looking back like, I took all those steps, that was me. And look how, and I left a trail of shimmer and glitter behind me too. I didn't even just barely make it up, gasping for breath. I really I did that. And so, shout out to certain person who started influencing me. Just in my journey, I've noticed when I'm focused on what I'm going through or the things that I'm saying to myself that might be negative, I start looking outward. Maybe if it's a trial you're going through, I started noticing that a habit for me was I'm going to stop focusing so much on myself, even though that's what we all do, it's default. Let me see what my gift could do for somebody else. Let me see how I could make someone smile today. Let me see how I could impact their life positively. And you start gaining this confidence and you start gaining this self-love and you start talking to yourself a little nicer and you start believing that when folks are listening to you and experiencing your art, that it's a positive experience for them instead of, oh my gosh, they noticed that I messed up. They noticed that I tripped up. Oh, this doesn't sound like I wanted to. This doesn't sound like it was in my room when I was by myself. And the evolution, I'm telling you, trust the process, because the fact that you care that much to be nervous and you care that much to want it to be perfect and to do your art justice, it just, that speaks to all of us, because it means that you love your craft and your gift that much that you want it to just be at its ultimate best. And that's just, it's so beautiful, Nubian. So thank you so much for sharing your gift with us today, because you really impacted all of us. Thank you for being honest about how you felt about it too. Like that, it does so much. And I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for you. I really cannot.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. This has been really great. Thank you. Um, Also, when I do another poem, I'll read you guys my honest poem. I wrote a poem, and it's called My Honest Poem. I want to read that to you guys.
Introducing Nubian. Let's go.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Poetry is undeniably the best form of literature. This is not my opinion. I say facts. Well, to be honest, my name is Nubian Ashe. My hobbies include people watching, writing, and trying to convince my shadow I'm someone worth following. I like to believe I'm a good writer. But when it comes to reading, my chest gets a little tighter, it buckles up, my vocal cords stop, my heart plays hopscotch inside of my chest, and my mind rips every form of words in my head apart. But to be honest, that happens more often than it needs to. If you told me that I read well, I probably wouldn't believe you, not because I'm modest, but because I'm being honest. If I'm being honest, I actually like school. I love to learn and teach my words, teach myself new words to say, like subsequently or enormity. This is what I call being dedicated morally. If I'm being honest, I'm not a good person. But I'm still human, and I get sad late at nights waiting for my grandma to come back. She won't, if I'm being honest. That took a bigger toll on me than I expected it to. I saw her lying on that deathbed, and if I'm being honest, I'm not over it yet. Hi, my name is Nubian Ashe. To be honest, I actually like my name and where it comes from, but people didn't. I used to let it define me. To be honest, I still don't love myself. If I'm being honest, I'm learning to. I'm planting positivity in all the places I fear, like my mind and my heart, for starters, because that's where I hide my insecurities. If I'm being honest, I've been screaming this whole poem. Could anyone hear me?
I did.
So, so good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
That was beautiful. I don't know if I should just jump in or not, but my last poem is about my name too. If that's okay, we can. No more mom poems. I have different. I write about a whole bunch of different things. So this poem is called "Please Don't Call Me Marla." I'm not a throwaway ex-wife of that ex-president we love to see swallowed into the next black hole. I am taller than Marla. Every shade of melanin, every fingernail across a chalkboard knows that's not my name, not even my nickname. Please don't call me ma'am. I understand your mama taught you to say thank you and yes, please, how crossing I's and dotting T's means more than it should to you, not me. Please don't call me miss. 'cause I was married. Every woman my age has heard that single name. We prayed not to hear again. Does any lash or limb on me resemble Miss Daisy? Please don't call me Ms. I prefer Mrs. Only married long enough to sign the certificate. Barely made our bed before he was dead. Do not pity me. Please don't call me girl like one of your great, 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 great granddaddy's house servants. If you ever do, I will have to secretly spit in your soup, too polite to spit on you. Please don't call me hun, like I am your dessert. No, do not start. The next word out of your mouth better not be honey or sweetie, sweetheart, sugar plum, or sugar. No way, baby, I would never get into a saucer or bowl with you. Please don't ever, never, ever call me the N word, the B word, angry, sapphire, stupid, not any abominable names. I went to college ready to reclaim our true names we inherited long, long, long ago. Please call me Queen, Marlena Patrice, Auntie, Auntie Marty, Sister, Beautiful. I will answer. Even call me Mama, not the I have kids Mama, 'cause I have none. Never pretend you are one. Mama, like you want me, like that flirty young man on the plane who freely called me Mama. When he said mama, he put blush on my cheeks, made me love my 50 extra pounds, made me 21 and forget about not being 21 when he called me mama. So please don't call me Marla. Okay, that's it. And
Now,
I have been called Marla a
Queen
lot, in
Marlena.
case you're wondering why I chose that title. It's not
now,
my nickname.
now, Queen Marlena, I want to know, Queen Marlena, I want to know, um, at any point in this room, do you remember me saying, ma'am? Did I ever say, I just want to know because I'm one of the ones that say yes, ma'am, to all women, to 16, to 60, 80, 100. So, did I say that at any point? Do you remember?
Well, no, actually you didn't. And I've noticed it's more a regional thing because
Okay,
as I told you, I'm from Cleveland
right.
and people didn't call me ma'am that much, but ma'am gets thrown around a lot quicker, I think, in certain areas of the country. So then, and some women don't like it. I understand. Well, I'm not crazy about it either, obviously,
Right, right, right.
but people feel like they're being polite. And on Facebook, a girl, her mother is my age, and I told her just call me Marlena, and she was like, I can't do it.
Right. See, I come from the school of politeness. But I won't be calling you that. I'm gonna call you exactly what you want. We just gonna be clear on that, 100%. Uh, Nubian, I didn't call you. No, I've been calling Nubian the whole time because I love her name and I wouldn't call her anything else but Nubian because that's what she is. That's her name and her frame. So it's a beautiful thing. Uh, Now, I think we're gonna close the show out with the wonderful co-host that has been pouring into the artist that even brought her baby girl. And she said, who's Dick Gregory? We're going to tell her and put her up on game a little bit later. When you said the inspiration, the man who was the inspiration, I thought, oh, yeah, you welcome. Yeah, you welcome. And then I said, "Oh no, I haven't known her long enough to be the inspiration." I was like, "Nah, I can't even let my ego bust out like that. We got to kill it at the door." Timothy, okay. Timothy said something. Timothy, send a message again so I can read it. Everybody is going crazy over Nubian. I want to make sure. Nubian, have you been seeing any of these comments that have been going in here? Many people have been saying, "I'm overwhelmed by the Queen tonight."
Yeah, I read them and stuff, but that was my dad. He was saying how I still have to call her Miss because that I yeah, the respect thing.
Oh, your father's Timothy.
Yes.
Okay, Carl Felton was the one that said that were overwhelmed by the Queen tonight. But yes, I did gather that Timothy was your father because before he said thank you for encouraging our baby. I don't know if he said baby, but I knew. Oh, that's pops right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%, 100%. I thank you for being here. I thank Lenny for coming here to continue to encourage the young sister and to give us information and pour into all of us. And your presence is always appreciated, whether the Wi-Fi is on or not. You always on time, and you have a strong connection with or without the Wi-Fi.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Queen Marlena. It was a pleasure to meet you for the first time, and I will never call you nothing less than Marlena. You understand? For as long as we know, I ain't from Cleveland. I'm from the West Side, from LA, Vernon and Normandy, Lamert Park, 18th Street, and I'm calling you till my dying day, Marlena.
All right, thank you. And the queen thing works too. And as I
Wait,
said at the end of the poem, mama can work under certain
but
circumstances.
I ain't gonna call you that. So we doing Queen Marlena. That's gonna work to perfection for both of us. That's what it is, and that's what it's gonna be. I appreciate and respect you, and thank you for being there.
Thank you.
That's right. And to close us out, I have given the affectionate name that she has accepted, 1580, because she is a reflection of the nostalgic nature of hip hop, of the new school, the old school, the now school. Y'all ain't never heard now school, huh? Yeah, that's the now school, right? And she is everything that Drea said earlier in the day. Is that you are going through a new change to add the lady on your thing. You feeling grown now, extra grown, more grown. And I'm so glad, so very glad that you left New Hampshire and you here. Because you needed to get the hell away from New Hampshire. Oh, excuse me, Nubian. You needed to get away from New Hampshire because, the hot sauce, you had to put so much hot sauce on your meal. So much so that you had to tell all of us last week about it. So we're glad you back home. I want you to deliver this to us, close us out the way we're supposed to, because we ain't got to go home, but we're going to have to get the heck up out of here. It's almost 2 hours. I got things to do. So, with no further ado, Miss Lady K Day, deliver it to us, 1580.
Good Lord, you can give an intro, sir. And yes, you are a very new associate, but you do inspire me very much. Very much. Man, I don't even get me started. Would you like me to share something or would you like me to say goodnight to the folks? How would we like to do this?
No, you ain't saying good night. You gonna say good night
Oh,
by delivering what you know best. I'm muting the
okay.
microphone. Respectfully, we're gonna go ahead and let Queen Kwani know what's going on. We're about to do this. I'm muting the mic. Take it home.
Okay. Um, okay. I want to share this. I have a goal for this year that I would like to do a workshop. I would like to do some kind of something
that shares my artistic process with folks of how I start from the seed of an idea to a finished product. And so in embracing all the sides of me, all the millions of layers, I would like to embrace not being a perfectionist, because I don't like to share stuff until it's masterful and it's done and I've gone over it 50 million cajillion times. I want to share my notes for the next piece I'm writing, because I believe that there's beauty in every stage of the process. So I have I have two pieces I'm writing. Um, this is one about a real man. And I've been getting a lot of dreams since last year, vivid dreams and messages about the king that is going to come into my life. And I don't know who he is, but God has given me his zodiac sign. God has given me details about this man, and he's given me a list of what I need to do to be the woman, the lady that I need to be to meet the love of my life. And I've been diligent and I've made the so-called sacrifices I need to. And I started gathering a list of my own of what I consider to be a real man. So this is the raw, uncut, very rough draft of the notes that I've gathered. That's going to go into my next piece. It's just a list of what I think is a real man. Y'all can hear me okay?
Perfect. Come on, tell me what a real man is. Come on, hurry up.
Okay.
Let me hear. Wait, what's the sign? What's the sign? We got.
I had to whet that appetite a little.
Oh, okay. All right. Excuse me. Excuse me for the interruption. Lenny, you see me going crazy over here. Excuse me.
Okay. He is unafraid to go against the grain, even if that means being laughed at or belittled. A man who doesn't need to speak as an anxious default, and he's comfortable with silence until he has something worthwhile to be said. He's a man who takes care of his body, not out of conceit, but out of respect for his temple and out of respect for his creator. He doesn't throw around apologies loosely and carelessly, but is completely okay and sincere when a true apology is needed. He is not thirsty. He doesn't need to go chasing after every PYT that comes along. He is alluring and attractive in his wit, in his soulful smile, his genius, his grace. And them honeybees flock to him, but he chooses wisely. Carefully, he takes his time. He's not a take whatever I can get type of man. He doesn't take things personally. He's a man ahead of his time with an open mind. He has a quiet confidence, but he's not a quiet man. He understands how to express anger and sadness in healthy ways because he knows both are human and they're righteous, but he doesn't let them overtake him. With no hesitation, he will call someone out on their BS if it's harmful to others or to himself, but he doesn't let anyone's negativity or ignorance bleed onto his bright light. He's a man who has style even in a white tee and chucks, and he draws attention naturally, but he's not chasing and seeking attention for validation. He doesn't back down or evade from commitment if it's something he truly wants, but he's not going to be coerced or forced. He's empathetic, he's patient, he's compassionate and passionate. He is creative. He is a free spirit, and he's infinitely kind. He doesn't need to manipulate to get his way because he knows if he does that and succeeds, what he seeks is not truly his. He doesn't need to raise his voice to make a point. He will break the law if needed, if it's for the greater good. He knows the importance of a poker face because he's from the street, but I can read his intentions in his eyes. He considers all sides, all angles, all viewpoints. He plays chess. He may have a villain's aesthetic, a villain's laugh, even a villain's voice, but he's a mastermind with a hero's heart. He doesn't rush for anyone, but in a rush, he doesn't become unglued, unkind, rude, and he doesn't completely lose his composure. He is a pillar I can lean on, but he knows when to rest his head on me. He allows others to be human, but he stands up against malice, ill will, and cruelty. He's a leader, but not a dictator. He is clean, but he is not obsessive and a clean freak. His space does not feel like a museum or a prison. It feels like home. He will take a risk or a gamble without hesitation, and he's always calculating. He protects the elderly, the innocent, women, children, the disabled, the less fortunate. He knows how to celebrate. He knows how to laugh, how to play, how to smile, and how to have fun. He doesn't constantly need to be the center of attention, but he can always be the life of the party. He is kind, like I said, but he's not overly nice. He has so much conviction in what he believes, I'd never have to second guess that he'd sell out for clout or money. He has respect and manners, but he will lay out if push comes to shove. This man's hands are rough, but they're not nasty. We save the nasty for other days and other times. He will fix, he'll do hands-on work without complaint, without reluctance, because he appreciates that God gave him hands to create beauty and to create function where it didn't exist before. He's got vices of his own, sure, but he's always on a never-ending quest to conquer anything that's got a hold on him, that's a trigger for him. He's not apathetic. He's not fair weather or lukewarm. He's not a take it or leave it kind of guy, because if he was, then how would I feel if he chose me? He stands firm, whether it's one way or another, without swaying, because he believes what side he's on is just and true. He can play, he can laugh, but he's not childish, irresponsible, reckless, and immature. He doesn't hold back from complimenting others, as he knows it doesn't take away from him at all. He's not doing too much. He's refined and he's full of flavor. He's interesting. He's talented. He's never dry or bland. My palate is delicate and he's a 5-star feast. He's not a coward. He educates himself constantly. He craves knowledge like he craves food and water. He is wise and he believes in expansion. He will dance. He will cook. He will show enough eat. He will travel. He loves fully because he savors the most beautiful flavors of life. He doesn't dismiss others based on the world's opinion of their power, their network, or their network, or their net worth, or their masculinity. He's got infinite layers to him, and he makes a difference. He's a challenge. He's a mystery. He's a puzzle, but he doesn't play games. He's not too easy to figure out, and he keeps me interested. I'm a fan of hieroglyphics. He is a man of many genres, many worlds, many talents, interests, many decades, and many time periods. He's dope, and I can't wait to meet him. That's all. That's a real man to me.
That's it. That's a real man. That's incredible. Um, I have a blue tee and some Timbs, not a white tee and Chucks. Everything else, spot on, except the tee and the Timbs. That's it. Uh, Queen Marlena, Nubian, Lady K-Day, it's been a pleasure. And Lenny just came right back. I love your tenacity. You never say, "Hey, I popped out. I'm gonna go to bed now." You just keep coming in anyway. Can you unmute the Lenny and just let me tell you, thank you for being so tenacious. You don't have any poetry or nothing. You just in here, just loving us, being a part of this.
My
Nobody
apologies for dipping in and out,
I'm
you
gonna
all.
still be here.
I apologize for dipping out in and out. I had to
You
check on
don't
my
have
daughter.
anything.
I'm sorry. What were you saying, AJ? You were going in and out.
We love it. It ain't no apology. It ain't no apology.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for gracing us with your presence tonight. It's
Thank
been
you.
so beautiful. And we really appreciate you sharing your gifts.
Thank you all. Until next time, y'all have a good one.
You too.
All right, everyone have a good night.
All right.
Thank you for watching the Artist Connection.